Well, tomorrow's a big day. Tomorrow is the runoff election. And in Lynn Haven, it is really important because Judy Tinder, how come when I do that, it goes this? I never get it right. Judy Tinder is running to become a commissioner again. And one of all of the things that she wants to do are fantastic. A resident hotline, um, encouraging public comments and public participation in the whole decision-making process, along with all of the other important stuff like prioritizing as a top priority, the flooding situation and stormwater, but coming up with real solutions that help the residents, not just the getting big grants that are awarded to their friends. I mean, real stuff. And as I'm thinking about the importance of voting tomorrow, because it's a runoff election, right? I mean, she almost won by 50% plus one, but I think by like 0.2 or something percentage points, she had to run again. And if she gets on the Lynn Haven City Commission, transparency is talked about a lot. But I wanted to go over with you what I'm thinking about today as the election approaches. And it is some of the unbelievable invoices that Lynn Haven and other local governments are giving people to access public records. Florida prides itself in being an open record state. And you cannot have responsive government without public records. And also, many municipalities, many cities and counties are abusing the statute that allows them to charge a special service fee for public records that are extensive, that require a lot of searching. And I'm going to go over some of that, but I'm going to show you over the years some of the most stunning examples. This is Judy Tinder, who is running, and the election is tomorrow. If you're in Lynn Haven, you cast your vote at the Senior Center, which is across the street from City Hall.
The most important part of our city is our people. It's our residents. They make the city. We are there to represent them.
Vote for Judy Tinder for Lynn Haven City Commissioner, seat 4, on or before April 22nd. So you say, well, on or before, geez, that cut off. On or before tomorrow, it's the deadline. So I want to give you some shocking examples. Let's start with Lynn Haven. By the way, I have a public record request that city manager / clerk, Vicki Gaynor, thinks that she fulfilled, but she hasn't. And I'll re-engage that this week, which is why part of the reason my mind has been on public records and the importance of being able to see our own stuff that government officials pretend is their stuff. So look at this one. It's unbelievable. From Lynn Haven. This is dated February 10, 2025. And there was a public record request by, I'm trying to see the name, but it's really small here. Let me see if I can see this. Bay County, Bayco Contracting Associates, it looks like. And they made a public record request, and the city says, sure, just pay us $26,000 in order to get your public record request fulfilled. Vicki Gaynor claims that it will take 1,057 hours. Now, on the actual total deposit there, it says this is a very rough estimate of costs. A deposit of half the estimated amount is required prior to work commencing. It is estimated that this project will require in excess of 1 year to complete. The information can be provided as it is completed if desired. In that case, an invoice will be produced for each portion that is completed and must be paid before those particular documents are released. Each payment will initially be deducted against the initial deposit paid. Once the initial deposit is expended, payment of the balance will be required before any further work continues. The request for text messages cannot be fulfilled for the time period requested because text messages are not held by our mobile provider for more than 1 year. Now, $26,000, more than a year to get public records. I believe that this person ended up suing the city and subpoenaed the public records. I'm going to tell you throughout the show, it'll be a short one, how you do that, the legal process. If you believe that the city is denying or delaying public records or putting an undue burden, you can file with the court what is known as a writ of mandamus, and a judge will look at it and make the decision if the city is following state statute, following the law. Let me see if I have. Let's see if I have the law. I thought I had it here from a while back. Yeah, here we go. So, this has to do with whether or not it's a spoken or written public record request. Yeah, this is good. Special charges. Okay. So that's a public record request that was issued to former Mayor Margo Anderson for $189 for something that should have been free, that they answered almost a year later at a meeting. This is at the bottom of the invoice that went to Mayor Margo Anderson. When payment is received, the information will be released. That is extortion. And just to add insult to injury, at the very bottom, City Manager Vicky Gaynor says, "Thank you for your business." Now, I'm here to tell you that public records are not a commodity. This is not Amazon. We're not asking for products or services. We want to inspect public records. Here's how they charge for that. Oh my gosh, it's crazy as hell. So the way the statute works, first of all, as the Florida Constitution is where all this begins, about open records, sunshine law. But over the years, challenges and case law have sort of refined how cities can execute the requests, what they can do in terms of charges and fees, for example. If you make a request for digital copies, and if the request is extensive and it requires hours and hours of city labor, they can charge a fee for the voluminous request and all of the extra work that goes into it. But what cities have been doing is saying that essentially nearly any request is extensive and requires a fee. That's what happened with me. I don't know if I have mine on here, if I was going to show it to you, but basically I made a public record request. Tell me if this is a voluminous public record request. About a month ago, I went in front of the Lynn Haven City Commission and I said I would like to make a spoken public record request, which they had to honor, even though the dumb mayor, Jesse Nelson, said it had to be in writing. No, it didn't. And he learned that. It was his teachable moment. But all I asked for was, over the past 4 days, I would like to get any and all digital copies of any and all emails with one search term, and the search term is Bernie. I got a response from Lynn Haven that said it would take 4 hours for the IT guy to find it. Now, do you think that's true? If it is true, then Lynn Haven is incompetent in its IT abilities to do a search. And that cost of their incompetence, do you agree, should not be passed on to citizens who make a public record request. Of course, that's true. I'm going to show you a history of some of the most famous public record requests over the last few years of cities. And then I'm going to tell you what we should do about it.
Strong, effective leadership. 3 words that could mean the difference between prison and your freedom. I'm Al Saulene, your Panama City Beach lawyer. 850-215-0628.
Don't let back pain and neck pain get you down. Find relief at Brown Chiropractic Center on St. Andrews Boulevard in Panama City. Dr. Sherry Brown helps people heal naturally with chiropractic adjustments and deep tissue massage. Call 769-3777. So one of the more famous instances occurred October 2nd of 2020. Take a look at this. This is a WMBB story. After Bay District Schools was subpoenaed by the FBI. Here's what they did. Take a look at that. The story is Bay District demands $18,000 to media for FBI records. The public may never see many of the documents connected to an ongoing corruption investigation in Bay County. They demanded $18,000 for more than 40,000 public records. The same thing occurred in Panama City Beach, and it was also in 2020. It was July 27, 2020, when Panama City Beach City Council was subpoenaed by the FBI. And they made a similar move when I and other media outlets asked for it. It was, I don't remember how much they wanted, but it was something like that. I feel like it was 16,000, but it might have been more for that than that. Here's one of my favorites. This is a video. In 2022, I went to the Panama City Beach City Council, and I made a public record request to Mayor Mark Sheldon. I'm going to show this to you right now. It's unbelievable. And Vice Mayor at the time, Jeff McConnell. And I had made a public record request from 2016 to 2022. All I wanted, again, search term, my name. That's it. That shouldn't be a secret. There shouldn't be social security numbers that I can't see. There shouldn't be any of that. And they said there were, how many emails do you think the city had containing my name from 2016 to 2022? How about almost 9,000? Almost 9,000 emails. I've actually been thinking about this. I'm going to make the public record request again because I want them. A digital copy of all of the emails the city has with my name on it. Here's what happened in 2022. And I anticipated then Councilman, Vice Mayor Jeff McConnell's response. I knew he was going to say what he says. Watch. Oh, this is unbelievable. This is so priceless. All right, listen to this. Here I'm asking for it. Watch what Jeff McConnell says. I made a public record request for something that definitely should not be a secret, my name. And the first public record request that I made was from 2016 until now, could I get any and all emails that include my name? And it turned out they were nearly 9,000. I see your face, Jeff. There's a lot, aren't there?
That's probably 9,000 emails from you.
Yeah. I knew he was going to say that. He's so predictable. That's the thing about narcissists like him. So predictable. Probably 9,000 emails from you. And look at him. He thinks I'll show you in a second. He thinks look, you have to see this. He thinks he's clever. You see him, he's sort of, maybe I can blow this up and show you. I don't know if you can see that or not, but he's sort of smirking and laughing. He thinks he really got one on me. Well, maybe that's 9,000 emails from you. Oh my God, this was so great. So look what I tell him. Until now, could I get any and all emails that include my name? Look, he's ready. And it turned out they were nearly 9,000. Look, he thinks he's slick. I see your face, Jeff. There's a lot, aren't there?
That's probably 9,000 emails from you.
Yeah. Well, then why can't I have them? Then why can't I have them? Why do I have to pay $14,000 to get 9,000 emails from me? They wanted $14,000 to get any and all emails, digital copies with my name in it. They wanted $14,000. He thought he was funny. But when I said, well, then why can't I have them? It wasn't funny anymore. You think I emailed the city 9,000 times? These people are so, first of all, they're as stupid as they are corrupt. Let's go back. I'll let this finish. So great. Oh my gosh. This is how they treat public records, even with just your name. It turned out they were nearly 9,000. I see your face, Jeff. There's a lot, aren't there?
That's probably 9,000 emails from you.
Yeah. Well, then why can't I have them?
I'd count
Why do
your
I
head.
have to pay $14,000 to get 9,000 emails from me?
Yeah.
Is there an answer for that? Nope. Well, Councilman Jarman did. On a couple of occasions, you've recommended that Bernie knows better than this, right? If you just narrow down the scope and don't ask for such a long time, I can get the public records. So I did that with your advice finally, right? And so I made a public record request a few days ago. Any and all emails that include my name just for this month, not since 2016, just for this month. There are 177 messages, and the city says, sure, you can have all of the email messages that include your name, but it's going to cost you $241. Now, does that seem reasonable, Mr. John?
Whatever our policy is. Is that our policy?
That's your policy?
The cities.
Yeah. And you think that's a reasonable policy?
That, we voted that in, or that has been voted in.
I didn't ask you that. I said, do you think it's reasonable?
I'd have to look at what you're asking.
$241 for any emails, including my name, this month alone is reasonable. Okay, let me move on here. The city. Is that remarkable? $240,000 for 1 month. $240 rather for 1 month with my name. So I've been thinking about public records. I'm going to re-engage these public record requests with just my name. So the city, Panama City Beach, has a policy where they charge essentially, if I remember right, it is something like, let me make sure I get this right. For 30 pages, I believe it's like $65, $70 for 30 pages. More than $1 a page for digital copies, because they claim that they need to spend 2 minutes per page, no matter if it's a blank page or a page full of, if it's a flyer. They claim they need to spend 2 minutes per page with a almost nearly $65, $70 an hour person, making sure there's no sensitive information on each page. That needs to be challenged. And that's exactly what we need to do and what I intend to do, because it's unacceptable and it's gone on too long. And this little situation with city manager Vicki Gaynor, who I believe she told all of the commissioners that I sent her an email on a Saturday, and she even has produced some document, some screenshot, some Adobe PDF with an email from me on Saturday. I never emailed her on a Saturday. I emailed her on a Wednesday. So I am determined over the next few days to get to the bottom of that. And we shouldn't have to work this hard when it comes to public records. That's really my point. And one way to do that, to not work that hard at it, is to have good people in there. And that is why I really hope that Lynn Haven voters agree with that and put back in a former commissioner, a commissioner with a conscience, a commissioner who gives a damn, and that's Judy Tinder. Tomorrow at the runoff election, again, if you're in Lynn Haven and you're a voter, it's at the senior center right across from City Hall. There's going to be a lot of Lynn Haven news, a lot of shakeups, a lot of things happening with the new commission, and I cannot wait to report on it. Accountability is right around the corner, and I'm going to be telling you all about it. You want to look good? You want to feel good?
Little John's Big and Tall is where it's at, right across the street from Sky's Pizza Pie, 5700 North Davis Highway. You can find out more online at littlejohnsbigandtall.com. He's also a member of the iTex trading community, where your iTex dollars are welcome.
All right, that's all I got for you today. Short show. I'm not even going to tell you what I've got coming up. I'm just not. Thank you to the Unknown Patriot for your support as always, and thank you for those of you who throw a tip in the tip jar as little as $5 a month. The best $5 you can spend on the internet. That's one thing I'm sure of. It's easy. It's anonymous, and you can quit at any time at patreon.com/Bernie Thompson. Crowdfunding is where it's at. Don't forget to get your free subscription to my Friday weekly newsletters at bernie.substack.com. Don't miss a show. It's all in an email. You don't even need Facebook to view it. You can forward the email to people who don't have Facebook, and they can see what's going on at bernie.substack.com. All right, that's all I got for you right now. Thank you so much for being with me, and I will see you very soon.